Hi there, I'm Tori Chasey from the Palmetto Historical Park, and today I'm here to show you how to make one of these cute little handkerchief dolls. One of the reasons that this would have been such a common toy for Pioneer kids is because they were so cheap and easy to make. We all know that one of the themes of Pioneer life is that they made do with the things they had, right? So the cool thing is you can make it out of pretty much just a man's handkerchief. We added a few other little things to make it a little bit cuter, including the piece of lace up top. But they're also known as not only handkerchief dolls, but also Pioneer dolls, or maybe even church babies. One of the reasons they're called church babies is because if you were taking your kids to church and you were trying to keep them entertained during a long service, keep in mind that the services were longer back then, they often lasted most of the day, this would be a great kind of thing for them to play with, because if you dropped it on the floor in the middle of the sermon, it does not disturb your whole congregation. So that is one of the reasons why they would have liked to use these dolls. We are going to show you how to make them today, but I thought I'd point out that I'm standing here in the Heritage Chapel at the Palmetto Historical Park because this is the kind of setting where they would have had church babies going on. I'm going to take you through a little bit, just real quick, so you can see what it looks like in here. All right, let's get right into making it. So in order to make these handkerchief dolls, the very first thing we need to do is gather our supplies. We've got the little bit of fiber fill, the tiny little ribbon, the small rubber band, and the handkerchief. Now, all of these things came in your History to Go order from the Palmetto Historical Park. I would recommend also grabbing kind of an inky pen or maybe a thin marker. This is going to make your doll a little bit cuter. And then also some type of glue. You could use a hot glue gun, craft glue, or just your basic school glue. This is going to make your doll stay together a little bit better. Obviously, hot glue gun or something like that will work faster, and your kids will get to play with it sooner. But the school glue definitely works too. You just probably want to let it dry overnight. So, okay. So we lay out our handkerchief, right? I'm going to tie knots in these top two corners, which are going to become our doll's arms. So, take a peek. What you're going to want to do is end up with two bunny ears. Each of these are going to become knots. So I like to do it around my finger and then back up through, right? So we get this tail coming out. Make it as long as you can. We still want to make sure we have enough space to be able to do one over here. Notice how I'm not going to tighten that down yet. It's just gonna make it harder for right now. So right now I'm going to do the other arm, right? Also another around and through. Now, if you tie your knots in the opposite directions, she will look more symmetrical and they'll look more like real shoulders, but it's not a big deal. So, pull it out. I want these to look even. You can see one arm is way tinier than the other right now, right? Basically, this is why I didn't tighten it down yet. You should be able to kind of tug it all around so that they're more equal. Basically, I'm going to end up tightening these down. I want them to be as long as I can. So these are, the two knots are close together, right? So the flaps are as long as I can, as long as they are equal, right? So I'm tightening it, evenly tugging on each different side. Okay. All right, so you got your two little and your bunny ears, right, with two knots. And then there's like this little puff that kind of is formed between them, right? Got a whole bunch of extra fabric, but it's kind of like this little pouch puffy thing in here. That is what's going to become the head, and you're going to use this fiber fill to stuff it on up in there. You see kind of how we do it. So I stuff the fiber fill up in there. This is becoming her head, and this part that goes between the two knots there is going to be kind of like the bodice of the dress. And I'm going to pull it around. Basically, you can kind of see how this is starting to look more like a person, or possibly a little ghost right now, but yeah, more like a human type. So I'm going to use my rubber band and kind of wrap it around that head and kind of shape it a little bit. So, got my fingers and I'm ready to go. Starting to see how this looks kind of like a little baby, maybe in a christening gown. Alright, so honestly, this is your most basic handkerchief doll, and you could be done right here. We have a few more options though to make it, I think, a little bit cuter. If you notice the example I kind of showed you at the beginning, see this, how it looks like a bonnet up here? We're gonna make our own little kind of bonnet with this ribbon. So I want it to sort of sit almost like a hat bill would, right? So the way you're gonna lay it along the top of your church baby's head is gonna decide sort of how it looks. Okay, so we can already tell that this is sort of the look I'm going for, right? If I take it around to the back of her, I kind of want to pinch it. So I want both of these little bits, the edge of the ribbon, and I'm going to end up tucking them under that little rubber band there. So I grab the rubber band that helps shape her head, right? And I tuck my rubber band up under it. Or I tuck my ribbon up under the rubber band. I do it on the other side too. Okay. And grab it, right? Can you see that? Grab it. And I tuck my ribbon in. Now, after I've done that and I've tucked it in, it probably looks a little funky on top of the head. And that's when you're going to kind of tug it in just so that it looks right. I'm going to tug it into place. Okay, so you can see on the back, they're both looped in, right? And now I just kind of, where do I want it to lay? There we go. Now, along this edge here, it's just going to keep pulling out. That is when I would take your glue. If your kids just helped you make this and they want to play with it, obviously just let them play with it for a while. But tonight, when they're about to go to bed, that is the time when you put on the glue. We go all along where this is supposed to meet on your head, right? And let it dry overnight. And by tomorrow morning, your kid's hanky doll is ready to go and be played with. Now, it's still, this isn't going to last forever, right? It's kind of delicate, but you can't always make it again and fix it some more. So, if you notice, this one's got a few more embellishments than this one, right? This is pretty basic with all of the things we gave you only. If you wanted, you can make hands. This is just another little knot at the end. Some of them have hands, some of them don't. You can decide if you want yours to. This kind of looks more, you know, like an angel, like right now. So if you want it to look more like an actual person, I'm just going to loop it around, right? And poke it on through again. Just like the way we did the shoulders. This time I don't want a whole lot coming out. That's about all I want coming out of the hand there. So I'm going to tighten my knot down until it's pretty small. If you keep just pushing it that way, it will end up probably just coming right out. Okay, there's one little hand. Do it on the other side too, right? Around and through. Okay, around and through. Thing, just a little tiny bit at the end there. Tighten that knot down. Now, if you tighten this really far down and then decide you don't want it, it's a lot harder to undo the knot. Okay. Now our sweet little Pinky doll has got 2 arms with hands. And if you want, you can go ahead and use your marker to draw on that face. Now, I would point out that, right, simpler is better. Also, if you're using a pen especially, make sure it's working good because it's hard to write on that kind of, on fabric. So what you want to do, if you want to make it real simple like mine, basically we're doing these shapes, right? A little half moon, and then some eyelashes. Less is more here, right? So simpler is better. You can see I also went and did a little smiley face mouth on that one, and I kind of regretted it because it didn't look as good. So less is more with these hanky dolls. They're kind of sweet